I know Nick Sirianni has not mentioned or not confirmed he's the starting quarterback, but understand the offseason, he took every rep, number one. He was the first guy on the field, even in the scale back offseason. So it's they don't want to hand a young player anything, which I understand. But look, if Deshaun Watson isn't here, Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback.
Bringing you home on Birds 365, jumping in for the last stretch run here, sitting in for Jody Mack along with John McMullen. Johnny Mack, great to jump in for the final 15 to 18 minutes of broadcast content today on this Monday. Good show. Birds 365 kicking off training camp week with two great guests, and that sets the stage, John, for what should be a fantastic next 5 weeks of coverage on Birds 365.
Yeah, tremendous. Zach Berman was great, as he always is. Maybe nobody better covering the Philadelphia Eagles. Then to get Jay Spieley's perspective from a national level, doing games for CBS Sports, 14-year NFL kicker. We know we have some special teams questions. You think about Dave Krause leaving this organization after so many years. Michael Clay, the new special teams coordinator, the youngest coordinator in the NFL. And you're going to have a new punter. It's probably going to be Aaron Cephas, but maybe it's somebody else. Jake Elliott's coming off a down season for him. So you have some questions there. Going to be interesting. And the biggest questions, the biggest question of all is this team going to make a move on Deshaun Watson? I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I do as well. I do want to talk in this final segment a little bit about the anointed starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Before we do that, Johnny Mack, I did want to take just a moment to shout out to everyone watching on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. It has been an incredible stretch, an incredible run for Birds 365, for the middle with Eitan, Harry, and Barrett, and of course the National Football Show with Dan Sileo. And with that in mind, I do want to put out there, Johnny Mack, and lots of details to come as we roll forward, but I did want to put out there, we will be giving away one pair of season tickets for the 2021 season to one of our subscribers. So a lot more details to come, but not a game. You've heard that before, but a pair of season tickets to one of our subscribers, and we'll have more details as we roll through training camp.
Not one game, the whole shebang. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and obviously that's great. We gave away the Devontae Smith jerseys around draft time. Everybody had fun with that. We're going to be doing that a lot more during the regular season. Tickets, as you said, road trips, as you mentioned in the past. It's going to be exciting for you.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Again, more details coming on our 2021 season ticket giveaway. We'll give away a pair of tickets if you are a subscriber. You already qualify. For those who are not subscribed, get subscribed to the JAKIB Media channel. Johnny, training camp is report day tomorrow, and then Wednesday is the first practice. It's also the first practice for Nick Sirianni. Talk about that a little bit as the player. First of all, what happens? The players report tomorrow. What takes place?
Well, you have all the logistics, and you can imagine there's a lot of stuff, and you have to get the players ready. They have to do, certain players will have to do COVID testing. That's, ramped up as far as the vaccine, and that's a big polarizing story nationally. So you have all the logistics, and you just give people a chance, and they got to get the schedules down, and they got to understand where they have to be at certain times. One thing about camp is it's very very structured. So everybody's getting that information and they're coming together. They hit the practice field for the first time on Wednesday. But, it's a new era, Krause. So, there's a ramp up period, as they call it, no pads for a week. So you can't do anything of that nature. Different world from the two-a-days where you had guys out there for 3 hours. But this is the new NFL, the new reality. And it's just going to be exciting to see some of these players on the field. Steven Nelson, first time we get to see him, late signing. That'll all happen Wednesday morning.
Let me use that to transition into our conversation about Jalen Hurts. When Jalen Hurts walks into the locker room on Tuesday, or perhaps when he walks out onto the practice field on Wednesday, is Jalen Hurts the anointed leader of the 2021 Eagles, John?
Yeah, yes, for now. He is until he isn't, Krause. And he is until Deshaun Watson shows up. And if he doesn't show up, he's going to be the starting quarterback. I know Nick Sirianni has not mentioned or not confirmed he's the starting quarterback, but understand the offseason, he took every rep, number one. He was the first guy on the field, even in the scale back offseason. So it's they don't want to hand a young player anything, which I understand. But look, if Deshaun Watson isn't here, Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback.
Let me get your opinion. Go ahead, finish up.
And he's going to start day one as the starting quarterback, and he's going to take the first team reps throughout the summer.
Let me ask you a question. Let me push back on that thought process for a moment and get your opinion. Isn't the opposite, or should the opposite approach to Jalen Hurts take precedent here? You are the starting quarterback for the 2021 season. The team is on your back. We've got you, your receiver that can spread the field, stretch the field. This is your team. This is your job to win or lose. Has any of that been said at all? Should it be?
Now, I don't have a problem. Some people do have a problem. Some people will take your path, Krause, and say you should do it. This is a second-round pick who started 4 games as a rookie. I mean, it's not a top 10 pick where you say this is the future of our franchise. He's going to be given an opportunity, a small path to take over this team because of what's happened with Carson Wentz. How small is that path going to be? As Jody and I mentioned before you hopped on the show, Roger Goodell seems to amp things up by not putting Deshaun Watson on the commissioner's exempt list. But even if the Eagles don't go in that direction, Jalen Hurts still has a very small path because this team has 2 first-round picks next year. They might have 3, depending what goes on in Indianapolis. They could be in the market for a quarterback in the top 10 of the draft. So he's got a very small path, a very small opportunity. But one thing about football, Krause, if you play well, they're not going to take you off the field. So that's that small path, and that's what he has.
Standing on the side of that small path is Joe Flacco, who the Eagles signed and brought in here. Do you expect to hear anything from Joe, or is it just the classic, he's the backup? Or, as Nick said, every position is open to competition. Does Flacco compete for and have an opportunity to be the starter?
No. I mean, Joe's going to take that path as a veteran guy. He's going to say he's competing, he's pushing, he's more competing to hold off McMullen, the third-string quarterback, than pushing Jalen Hurts. I think the only way Joe Flacco plays this year is if Jalen Hurts gets injured. Now, if we're talking 0-4 start, 1-6 start, something of that nature, just an absolute disaster, which I don't think is going to happen, then you might revisit it. But the Eagles' plan is for Jalen Hurts to be the starting quarterback. And the only thing that's going to shift that plan is if they can acquire somebody better.
Expand on that word disaster, or because the team could be 1-5 after the first 6 games. And oh, by the way, Jalen could play well and the team could still be 1-5.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because that's the difficult part of the schedule. I think if he plays well, they're going to find a way to win a few games, whether it's, week 1 in Atlanta. There's some other winnable games in there. I don't think he can play well, really well, and have this team at 1-5. I just don't think it works that way in the modern NFL. If your quarterback is playing well, you're going to have an opportunity to win some of these games. So if they are 1-5, I don't think anybody is going to complain about a potential benching at that point, because I think it's going to be ugly, to be blunt.
John, help us refresh our memory to the final 4 games that Jalen Hurts did play to end the season, and then use that memory to transition into what you expect from him now, through the offseason and going into the season. I get it. He hasn't touched the field in 2021. But the 4 games, that's all we have, unless we go back into his college career to try and assess or analyze whether or not he's going to be good or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gave the offense some juice. I think everybody saw it. Part of that was just how poorly Carson Wentz was playing, Krause, and part of it was, remember, when you come in the second half in Green Bay, nobody's expecting it. In other words, nobody is preparing for Jalen Hurts. Nobody's prepping. Nobody's game planning for him. So he gave him that juice early. And as you got later in what is a small sample size, teams knew he was the starting quarterback. Teams started to prepare for him. It became more difficult. That's how it works in this league. Teams adjust. One thing first, 52% accuracy. Awful. Got to be better. Got to be much better. 65% is essentially an average quarterback in the modern NFL. It's got to go way up. Second part, look, he's a great runner. He has the ability to move the football with his legs, but he was too quick to do that. In other words, you want the Patrick Mahomes, you want the Russell Wilson, you want guys who can extend plays, but they're extending plays while still looking down the field, trying to get the big gash in the pass play. Then if you have to run, you run and you make it. But what you can't have is you look at the first progression, then your head goes down and you run the football. That's not a recipe for success.
Do you, based on those deficiencies, John, that you see, do you think there's a chance for Jalen to improve collectively in all of those categories? Because if not, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, he can improve. I mean, players improve. That's part of it. That's one thing I've argued. I talk about the Sixers all the time and the Eagles as well. One of the reasons Doug Peterson isn't here any longer is because of player development. You don't draft a finished product. It's the job of the coaching staff to get these players playing better. Coaches will tell you in this league, you normally see the biggest jump from year 1 to year 2 for a lot of reasons. One of them, the most simple, is guys just feel more comfortable. It's their second year. You can imagine being a rookie in the NFL. Most of these guys are in a new city for the first time. They got to find a place to live. They're 21 years old, 22. These things aren't easy for young people. You have all these things being thrown at them. So year 2, they're more comfortable, number one. They understand the system. If you're under the same coaching staff, one of the problems with Jalen is they've changed the coaching staff. So he has to learn another system. So that becomes more difficult. But things should have at least slowed down a little bit for him And yeah, he's got to improve, but there's no reason he can't improve.
Last question on Jalen Hurts, and I know we're getting close to the top of the hour, Johnny Mac. Your assessment, your opinion. Does Jalen Hurts have the talent? Is it about his talent, or is it about the coaching he's going to get? Which one will make the biggest difference for Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, it's interesting, Krause. I think always when we talk about young quarterbacks, we always talk about, look, we know he has the traits, the skill set to succeed. What we don't know is if he has the intangibles. Is he a leader? Will people follow him? With Jalen Hurts, it's almost the exact opposite. We know he's a natural leader. We know guys gravitate towards him. We know he has this unbelievable work ethic, and he's going to do everything possible to improve. What we don't know is if he has the high level skill set of an NFL passer. I can't tell you that. To me, people aren't going to like me, but it happens all the time. It doesn't seem like to me he's going to be a high level passer in the NFL. That's just my perspective. But he can get better.
Birds 365 with John McMullen and Jody Mack back tomorrow here on the JAKIB Media Network on YouTube. Thanks again for subscribing. 2 minutes until we say goodbye, John. I want to set the table. Wednesday, you'll be down at NovaCare. You'll be reporting in to Birds 365. Barrett Brooks will do some double duty while you're covering. Your first look through the McMullen lens will be on Wednesday. And of course, we'll have all kind of coverage, including John McMullen nightly on Football 24/7.
Yeah, excited to do that, especially, Birds 365. We've had so much success on the show, but to do that daily training camp, I think people are going to be interested in it. I think people are going to be excited. We did the hit after Steven Nelson signed, very successful. People are jacked up, Krause.
Yeah, it's here. I think you said in that breaking news conversation that we had yesterday, I think you referred to it, Johnny Mac, as the craziness has started.
The circus is here.
Yeah. Good memory. There it is. The circus has already begun, but the players do report tomorrow. First practices on Wednesday. Sunday, August 8th is the first public practice. And then the first preseason game will be on the 12th. That's going to do it for this edition of Birds 365. Glad to jump in and bring the show home. Johnny Mac, great stuff, my friend. You'll be back tomorrow with Jody Mac. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.